Hello everybody, this is Danny
and Wanda
from the Deep South Homestead. We are in the off-grid cabin.
the candy corn cabin.
Well, it's an off-grid to me right now.
It's very off-grid.
It's very off-grid, okay?
Y'all want to know how many times he's tried to run his skill saw?
You don't know.
Before cranking the generator.
I picked that skill saw up, I bet you 100 times and squeezed the trigger on it and realized.
I just wish I was filming him every time because that would be a great
She
video.
sees me when I do it, she runs to get the camera out towards it's too late.
I'm going to set it up.
Yeah, it's
like at least 10 times today.
It is amazing how you get used to electricity.
Exactly.
I mean, anyway.
And lighting's going to be an issue probably before long.
And if the lighting, like porch time was yesterday, it faded out. But we have some lights in here that we'll be experimenting with. They're battery powered.
Yeah, we want to know what they do.
We want to know how it is. So if it gets dark and we have to get up and turn them on, we're going to show you what it is. I mean, this is the inside of the cabin right now. You're looking at our back door on this right here. You're looking at the fireplace. We finally got all the cement board around in the fireplace. We're ready to install the fireplace. So we got to get the pipe up through the chimney and all first, and then we gonna put the fireplace in. But
we have both doors done and one window. We still have a big window here and a kitchen window. Then we have a bedroom window.
And then a loft window.
And a loft window.
First of all, the Spirit led me to build this. We wanted to build it over a year ago and it said no. And then the Spirit finally said, it's time to build the cabin. So, but I was like, why? Really, why do I need an off-grid cabin? Well, after doing a lot of historical study about the Great Depression, I come to the conclusion that we're going to need it in the direction in which we're heading. Our house, after Hurricane Katrina, I couldn't even live in the house without any electricity. I had to actually sleep on my porch. Now, I know that may sound ridiculous, but it was actually hotter in the house than it was outside. Now, during the day, it would get up to about 100 to 110 degrees. And when you had our humidity, that's just horrible.
Yeah, and I lived in a different area, but I lived in a more like this. Mine was a 20 by 30 small wood house. It was hot, but it was not unbearable. The house breathed somewhat. We had a loft and we had windows that we could open.
Yeah.
So I had a higher pitched roof. Danny has a pop-in roof.
Yeah, I do.
Sheetrock and stuff that doesn't break.
It's all the modern material.
It doesn't break.
It's all the slip lock floors, the sheetrock. If I shut a door in one part of my house, it'll pull the door to in the other part of the house. That's how tight it is. And when I designed the candy corn cabin here, I designed it with the older homes before electricity was even made in mind. I have the tall walls and the steep roof so that we can get rid of heat. Now, Wanda and I talked about this a little bit earlier today. It's never going to be very much cooler in here than what it is outside, but there is some things that you can do to cool the temperature down just a little bit. You can, we're underneath all these shade trees here. Now that's going to cool the wind down some coming underneath it, but we're also going to have a porch around it. And after the cool wind comes on under the porch, and by the time it comes through the house, it should cool it off some.
Yeah, and we situated the doors where we thought it would pull a breeze through. We've got the windows plus the loft window so that the heat will go out.
This fireplace, it's a 4-foot fireplace. It's one of the largest that heat ever made. We're hoping that it will keep the cabin warm enough that we won't need anything else.
Yeah. And a lot of people have asked, are we living here? We didn't plan on it. That's not our intention. because I like having the space to can and cook and things in the big kitchen and things like that. And a lot of people do the small cabin, but then they turn around and build an outdoor kitchen
kitchens and stuff, yeah.
outdoor this and outdoor that and all that. Well, I still like my big kitchen. As long as we have power, I still will be cooking in my kitchen. But we're having it where we can cook here, but it would be off-grid.
It would be off-grid cooking. The fireplace is being designed so that we have swing arms on the outside of the fireplace to be able to swing pots in over the fire. Wanda has purchased some new Dutch ovens and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've always had cast iron everything.
Yeah.
But I did purchase a Dutch oven because I thought that's a really cool way to do a meal in it and not really have to do a whole lot to it. If you've got coals in the fireplace, you can cook a meal.
You can cook a meal. We're going to do the rain catchment system on the outside. We will have a working toilet. Now, we're not going to do a composting toilet because in the south, you can throw that thing out the window because the flies will form in that thing. I'm telling you, the lorries.
No matter how much you change.
No matter, the lorries learned this. They take that one out of their house and get a regular one in there. But, you know, with the rain catchment system and the barrels up high, we'll be able to flush a toilet and go into a septic system. That's not going to be an issue. We'll probably, the rain catchment system being up high, we'll have a sink and we'll have water run to it, wash our hands with and stuff like that. We're thinking about putting a hand pump well outside the porch over here and see if we can make that work. I believe we can. We've got the right trees growing next to the porch that signifies that water should be within 20 feet of the top of the ground. So,
and to have a pitcher pump, we would really like that. We have one on our property.
We already have one, yeah.
So we would like to have one here. And I really want an outdoor toilet.
She wants an outhouse.
I want the outhouse.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted one, but we are under international code here. So at our house, it's illegal for us to have.
We can't have one at our house. But now over here where we don't have a regular well, we could have one. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a question about the hand pump or not.
Yeah, we hadn't asked on that one.
I hadn't asked on that one yet, but in the state of Mississippi, it's legal to have an outhouse if you don't have a well on your property. And technically, to be honest about the whole situation, in our county, we can't live in this permanently without electricity. It's against the law.
We could not live here permanently. So we already know all these things.
Yeah, we've already checked all the rules, all the codes. And the reasoning is you have to have smoke detectors and they must be wired up to battery and electricity. I mean, that's the law.
We'll put smoke detectors in here, but they will be battery operated.
They'll be battery operated only. Yeah.
That way we do have it. But for our benefit, Danny and I plan on coming over here at night, lots of times, and spend the night.
We'll spend the night over here.
Quite often, because we don't have a just vacation type thing. This will be our getaway. It's close enough that we don't have to worry. If I want to run back to the house and do something, I can.
Yep.
If I don't want to go to the house and I just want to sit here all the time and just enjoy, I can. And that was our biggest thing, is to have somewhere that we felt comfortable to just leave and go to without actually leaving and going somewhere.
Well, we have animals. We can't just leave the place. I mean,
and that was a big
that's
issue
a big
with
issue with us.
We have no one to take care of our animals. If we leave and go for a weekend or a week or 2 weeks, there's nobody here that can take care of them like we do and make sure everything's okay. Plus, gardening. Yeah. We garden year round. Yeah. If I leave some of my stuff, like our greenhouses and stuff, even in the wintertime, if we left them for a week, things would die.
So everything would die.
So, you know.
Everything would die. The thing about the Great Depression was people were different when that happened. And that's something that we've come to the conclusion of here. We don't have the same kind of people in the country that we had during the Great Depression. During the Great Depression, people had a different mentality. They would work together. If somebody was lacking in something and somebody else had it, they were willing to barter with them.
And that's where skills come in, because, and there's a lot of people out there that want this type, so they need to work toward it. but learn your skills. One of them was simply cooking from scratch.
Oh, that's something that very few people
Very
do.
few people nowadays know how to cook from
If
scratch.
they can't go to the store and buy all the ingredients and come home and put it together, we talked about this about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
They, you know, if they can't go to the store and buy all the ingredients that's in the recipe and come home and put it together and make that recipe happen, they can't cook. They don't know how to substitute.
They can't substitute. And I was guilty. I told Danny I was guilty of this many years ago. Did not know if a box called for 3 eggs and a cup of water to make a cake, I had to have 3 eggs and a cup of water.
Yeah.
I did not know how to substitute if I only had 1 egg. I didn't know what to do. I wouldn't make the cake mix.
Right, you say, well, I don't have everything, I have to
3
wait
eggs.
till I can go back to town.
Yeah. Okay, there's ways around that. I
Yeah.
just did not know it at the time. So it's a work in progress. So any of you young ladies, even older ladies that have never cooked a lot from scratch or substituted, don't feel guilty because you don't know it. It
Right.
really wasn't taught.
It wasn't taught. After
Yeah.
after the Great Depression and things started picking back up, the Depression lasted, it's kind of questionable. Some people say 10 years it lasted, some say 11, 12, but I think it's probably pretty close to 10 years that people,
Had to skimp.
they had to learn to do without, you know, and can you imagine what would happen today if people could not get what they wanted? Now, our grocery stores, when you go in them, it don't matter if it's the dead of winter, you can get strawberries, you can get bananas, you know, you can get all this stuff that's apples and oranges, potatoes, anything out of season.
You can get
You
anything.
can get anything. Can
And
you imagine if the trucks stopped rolling and people could not get what they want? What kind of chaos we would start seeing in this country?
So what are you going to eat? Say you go to the grocery store and they're out of everything except
Everything that you're used to, just say it's everything you're used to eating, and something, you have to eat something different.
there's oatmeal there, and you hate oatmeal.
Yeah.
You've never really liked it, you don't want it, you eat bananas for breakfast or whatever, but all they have in the store is a few boxes of oatmeal. So you buy oatmeal and go home. How do you cook it? If you don't like it, you usually don't cook it.
Right.
And then you're
Then
stuck.
you taste it and you go, oh my God, this stuff has no taste, not realizing it has to have some kind of sweetener in it if you like
usually
that.
like some sweetener.
Yeah, we use
You
cane
know?
syrup in ours, but I mean,
But there's a disconnect with the cooking.
yes.
So I advise anybody to learn how to cook from scratch. Take recipes, play around with them. This is something I told Danny I've been doing since I met him, is figuring out why. That's something in cooking most people don't even ask.
They
Why do you have to have this in the recipe? Why do you have to have that?
What's the purpose
What's
of it?
the purpose of it?
Yeah.
Did you know there's a reason for most things in the recipe? There's a purpose. And that was something I did not get for a long time. Why would you not put 2 tablespoons of baking powder instead of 1? Why, it would just make it rise more, would be my thought. Do you realize it makes it taste worse?
It actually gives it an
It
aftertaste.
does. So there's
Yeah.
there's reasoning on why you put X amount of something and why you put an egg in something and something else you don't put an egg in, and you know, same ingredients.
Yeah.
I can take eggs, milk, butter, flour, and sugar and make a lot of different things. From pancakes to a cake to cookies to, you know,
Yes.
you name it, you can make it out of the same ingredients. It's just whether you add more milk, less milk, 2 eggs, 4 eggs, 1 egg, no egg. You know, according
Depends on the
to
fluffiness of it.
you know, pancakes, you put 1 tablespoon
one.
of sugar in it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to make a cake, you want a cup of sugar in
Yeah.
it. So it's all in
It's all different. It's all different. And then
same ingredients.
another thing is, what would it be like if people couldn't go buy clothes? You ever stop to think about that? If the trucks start rolling and then you had to wear the same clothes? Oh my gosh, in the Depression they went, let's say it was 10 years like we believe it was. Do you know some people wore their clothes almost a full 10 years because they couldn't get any more? And the thing that you had to know was how to sew. You had to be able to fix your clothes.
And even as a young kid, I remember darning socks. I didn't do it, but I mean, I know that was a thing. My mom did. My mom was a seamstress. I was very fortunate that my mom was a seamstress, one of the best, and she still is. She knows how to sew.
Knows how to do it all.
She taught me how. Granted, I don't sew very much right now, but I know the basics. I know how. I've made dresses and skirts. I've made men's shirts. I've made kids' clothes. I know how. I know the basis of what to do. We even have patterns here, and I bought generic patterns where there's slip-on pants with elastic in the waist, or a skirt with elastic. The tops where you don't have to do anything more than just put 2 or 3 pieces together and hem them. So you don't have to have buttons and zippers and all this stuff.
But you ever remember going to your grandma's house? She always had a big old tin can full of buttons.
Yes.
They always had that.
Love playing in the buttons.
Love playing in the buttons. But you know, you have to stop and think.
Nobody saves the buttons now.
Nobody saves a button anymore. They just throw something away.
I'm guilty. I throw
We do it. But we do have buttons though.
We have several, but I'm still.
We have a can full. But you know, my grandfather was a cobbler. That's all he ever was his whole life. Did you know he was the only cobbler in our town for a while? Now there was a couple others came in a little bit later, but a cobbler was a necessity in a community. In the Great Depression, I read where people actually took car tires and cut them up to re-sole their shoes with the rubber off of the car tires. Because they had no other way.
They didn't have the metal and stuff.
No, it wasn't no radial tires like we got now. It was actually real rubber tires.
Yeah, now you've got the radials. I don't think I'd be wanting to walk.
No, I wouldn't want a piece of wire coming through my foot. But I'm just using it as an example of how people got by.
And I remember, speaking of that, the tires had inner tubes.
Yes.
And
had red rubber inner tubes.
And my grandmother talked about what she calls step-ins. And as a kid, we called them step-ins. And I know some of you ladies are going to die out laughing because you know what a step-in is.
You know exactly what she's talking about.
It was your panties.
Yep.
And my granny talked about taking flour sacks and making a pair of panties and using the rubber
from the inner
tubes and cutting them and making the elastic.
Making the band to go around your waist. Yep.
So you have to get inventive.
Told me when I bought some hogs and brought them on the place here, and they had some lice on them. So I went to the vet's office and asked him. He said, "Well, here, put this stuff on." And I looked at it and I said, "Man, that's a pretty toxic chemical there." And he said, "Well, you're gonna have that to get rid of them lice, And I was like, "Well, I ain't doing that." So I went and talked to my daddy and I said, "Dad, when you were coming up during the Depression, what did y'all use?" He said, "Son, just go get you some old burnt motor oil and put it on a rag and just rub it on." And I was like, "Well, Dad, the motor oil is different than it was when you was a kid. We got all these additives and synthetic and all these chemicals in it now and all." And he said, "Well, son, then," he said, "lice can't live where oil is." He says, "Just go get you some mineral oil in a bottle and just rub it on. Or some cooking oil or anything like that, just rub it on, it'll kill them." And that wisdom right there. What does everybody want to do today? They want to go get a chemical.
Yeah.
And put on their animals. And I asked him about worming them. I said, "Well, what about worming them?" He said, "Well, we was a kid. We just used the dirty dishwater with the soap water in it." He said, "That old soapy water and the food particles out of them hogs will eat it and the soap will worm them out."
But guys, we just wanted to come over, spend a little time
here. Spend
here.
some time in the cabin.
And y'all notice me looking out. I'm looking at my big picture window. And we tried sitting in front of it, and there's too much light coming in. Faded us out. But the window is awesome. I can see my potatoes, and they're looking great. The sugar canes coming up.
Back up. See the cows in the field.
The cows in the back eating, and our neighbor's pond beyond that. And I was picking at the neighbor the other day, and I told him he had to keep his pond clean so I could see it.
Yeah.
But I know before long, Danny Sugarcane's going to cut.
Yeah, before long, the sugarcane, Lord willing, you won't be able to see nothing.
It'll cut the whole view. All I'm seeing is the back of the sugarcane field.
Yeah, but that's not a bad thing.
No.
Because we want privacy, so that's
It'll be awesome. But I do right now, I'm looking at the backside of a cow, but
Yeah, it is what it is, okay?
But it is pretty awesome to be able to sit here and enjoy, because I'm looking at all these trees and, you know,
Everything's
the
leafed out
sky.
completely.
The sky's beautiful out there
Yeah.
right now.
We'll be able to see the sunset.
Yeah, this window's gonna give us a good view of the sunset.
Good view of the sunset coming through, filtered through trees. Now, it's not gonna be the sun shining directly because where it sets, it'll be filtered through the trees coming in here.
And that's usually where we get the most color.
It is,
It's
yes.
gorgeous.
And we have lots of wildlife that walks around over here, so we'll be able to sit in the cabin at night and maybe on a rainy day or something and watch the wildlife just walk around in the yard out here.
But
So
we just enjoy sitting down chatting,
we do.
and we wanted to just enjoy it with you guys a little bit. We may do this off and on, do a cabin talk on whatever crosses
Just
our
pick a
mind.
subject. We'll just pick a subject, and you notice we're still wearing jackets because
I'm sitting here almost shaking, and
it's in the
not
50s.
cold.
It's not that cold. It's just that it's in the 50s and
Southern people can't take 50.
well, when you got a high humidity, and 50-something degrees, it's
still a little chilly to us.
And the soffit's not all closed in. I mean, you can see the metal and stuff like that up here. There's nothing closed in, so
We plan on spending the first night here shortly, but Danny did want to get the soffit done
I
before.
want to get all the soffit in and get a fireplace in so that if I have to build a fire, I can.
Because we would love to be able to bring you guys along on our first night here in the cabin with the fire.
With the fire going,
Even though it's not finished, it will be nice.
it'd be nice.
So this is our first late evening in the cabin, and we're going to sit here and enjoy for a little while.
Yep, when we turn you guys off, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna sit here and just look out the window and just watch whatever happens.
Just because we can, guys.
Guys, I'm telling you, I love this life, and I love the solitude that it brings. Something I want to mention here before we get off is Wanda and I have noticed in our home how our bodies feel. And we're trying to determine, is it the electricity that's in the walls? Is it the EMFs that's being emitted by the smart meters and the Wi-Fi towers and all this kind of stuff, the radiation that's being given off by all that stuff? Is that what's actually affecting our bodies when we're in the house? We're coming over here where there's no electricity, and we are testing to see how
Another Deep South test.
how different our bodies react. How are we more calm? Are we more at rest? How does our body feel? You know, we really won't know until we actually spend the night and see how we sleep.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so I've read and watched so many videos about what's causing people's health issues due to electricity being run in the walls and the radiation that's being emitted by different things that's in our houses now. This is another experiment of ours, is to see about the off-grid.
Yeah, and we say we don't want to be off grid, but there's parts of it we do think would be beneficial.
There's some parts of it that would be beneficial, you know.
We don't want a harder life than we already have.
No, I don't want a harder life than I have. But if we can come up with if we can design this thing and keep fixing it to a point to where it is comfortable even in the heat.
Yeah, that's going to be
The heat's going to be our issue. It's not going to be the cold.
Yeah, because we like a cool house. I do.
Our house now stays in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But when it gets hot in the summer, we do have issues.
That's when our issues come.
So this summer will be a test to see, can we handle the off-grid?
Yeah. See,
And
if our
cooking
design.
off-grid in the summer is just a no-no, just about it. So
Well, we'll try. I mean, to give it all fairness.
we ain't building a fire in here in the summer.
Well, all fairness, we're going to have to try. If we don't do nothing but grill on the porch, you know
We can
what?
grill on the porch. We ain't
We're
building
gonna
a
do
fire in the
something.
house. We've got our rocket stoves and stuff.
We do have rocket stoves, we got grills, we got all this kind of
I
stuff.
don't mind outside. I don't think we want to build.
We've got the fire pits for the rings and stuff like that. We will give it every try just to see
how we can survive.
how we will survive. I mean, guys, with the grand solar minimum fixing to be the way it's going to be in the next few years, I think that this may be a necessity. So
we're fixing to fade out like you did in porch time.
I know it's getting dark now.
Hold on, I just got to see the
She's
lights.
got to see if the lights actually does any good.
See how they work.
I can see it in the fireplace. Okay, I'm lit up. Oh yeah, look at this. It's almost too much.
It's yours.
Okay, I got one on my side here. Hang on. These are just little lamps, guys.
We're just playing.
We're just playing right now. We want to see. Okay, so
We're a little lit up.
we're a little illuminated.
At least we didn't fade into darkness like you did.
Well, I wasn't about to get up. I was going to finish what I was
And we
doing.
do have a porch light. Somebody asked.
Somebody asked you need a
He
porch
wouldn't
light.
get up and
I
turn it on. He was on a roll.
I didn't want to. I love that kind of lifestyle. I hate electricity in certain instances, and
About the best thing is,
shadows moving around back there. Okay, yeah, this is pretty neat.
so we're just gonna play around with things.
We're gonna see how much light it takes to light this thing up where you can see in it at night. So we'll probably stay with dark.
Yeah.
And just see.
And play around with our lights and see how
Yep.
they do and see what else we may need, because we are thinking of some coal lamps.
Yep, think about some
Not
coal.
coal oil,
No, well they call it coal. It'll be kerosene lanterns.
kerosene.
We're
We've
thinking
got
about
several
that.
different ideas on what to put in here. And video purposes, it probably won't be worth the crap. But for us,
Well,
it'll be just fine.
there's proof out there that the fluorescent lighting in houses is damaging people's eyes. So
Oh, yeah.
so we're gonna try different types of lighting here just to see how it works in the off-grid cabin. So guys, I know we've been going a long time. Said we first started out said we wasn't gonna do that, but it looks, I don't know we can do anything short. I mean,
I don't know that we have to do anything in a short amount of time.
we just love talking to you guys.
I
So
think we just like talking.
maybe so. But anyway, thank you guys for actually sitting around listening to us. I know it might not have been anything that educational, but we're sharing our life with you. And that was one of our dreams on YouTube, was to share our life with others and to tell them why we do these things.
Yeah.
And we're trying to share with you why we're doing this.
And if it's just what we want to do right now.
Yeah.
Some people want to ride motorcycles, some, want to go
Some
golf.
want to go golfing, some want to travel, some, whatever.
Ours is a cabin.
Ours is a cabin. We've had this dream for 6 years now, and it's time to make it happen.
Yep.
So
Guys, we'll talk to you later.
y'all have a blessed evening. Thank you from Deep South Homestead.